I'm 18 years old, and for the first and only time in my life, I couldn't physically speak. I was a sophomore in college. I'd graduated high school early. I was back visiting my parents for the weekend, and I had something to tell them. I'm pregnant. I'm smart. I'm careful. Dad's not in the picture. How could this be happening to me? And when I tried to tell my parents over the course of several days, I just couldn't get the words out. I finally separated them and told them individually, which was a bit easier. And when I told my mom, she started rattling off a plan, and I just shut down. And when I told my dad, he was silent. And he just looked at me, and his face had this expression of profound grief. He knew what this meant for my future. He has 3 sisters, all of whom had teenage, unplanned pregnancies, probably to escape their dysfunctional home. And now he's looking at his daughter, who's independent and stubborn, intelligent, pre-med. She's pregnant. He didn't say anything. He got up and walked away. I'm 19 years old now, staring in the incubator of my 25-week premature daughter. I had spent the last couple of months homeless, living in my car and between friends' couches, trying to not overstay my welcome anywhere. I had spent the first part of my pregnancy just in emotional turmoil about what to do about it. Do I keep her because I love her? Do I give her up for adoption because she deserves to not be with a kid, but with a stable, loving 2-parent home? And when I finally settled on adoption, my parents asked me to leave. My mom told me that I was selfish, that she would just take the baby and I could have it back when I decided that I wanted it. And my dad told me that it was too hard to look at me and my growing belly, knowing that I was giving away his granddaughter. So I left. And under all of this stress and working full time and staying in school, I went into preterm labor. And before I had the adoption set up, my daughter was born. And now I have this tiny, really sick baby in front of me, and she needs a mom, and she needs one right now, and here I am. So she decided to be mine. She's my baby. We spent 4 months in the NICU together. Usually I was there 12 hours a day, getting a lot of looks from a lot of people. And one day, one of her neonatologists stopped after his rounds and said, "Hey, who are you? Tell me about your life. What do you want to do?" I told him I'm in college, pre-med, I want to be a doctor, probably a pediatrician. And after that conversation, he offered me a research assistant position in his lab. And that was the first time in a long time that someone looked at me as an individual and saw my potential and believed in me, gave me an opportunity. When she was discharged from the hospital, we went home to my parents' house. And it took me a really long time to reconcile the hurt of having so quickly been thrown out and then welcomed back when they got their way. But I pushed away my hurt to the side for the sake of the relationship that they have with my daughter. And my daughter and her grandparents truly have the most beautiful relationship and love. And over the years, I've grown to forgive them. I'm 21 years old. I'm in the grocery store with my toddler, carefully calculating how much everything costs. Going through the checkout line, a woman looks at me and says, "I hope you're the nanny." Then she looks at my food stamps card and says, "Of course you aren't. You're just another leech on society." And in that moment, I felt so ashamed and so small and totally speechless. And she's not the first person that's made comments like that to me. She wouldn't be the last. And a lot of looks that communicate those same things have happened to me over the years. And I've remembered how each one of those have felt. Later that afternoon, my daughter had her well child visit at her pediatrician's office. He had been my pediatrician too growing up. And the receptionist tells me, "I don't think that you're going to be able to be seen today. You have an outstanding bill of almost $3,000. It was the cost of her care that wasn't covered by Medicaid. And I just look back thinking, how am I going to do this? The doctor comes out, pulls us into an exam room and says, "You're not going to pay that bill. You can pay me back when you're a doctor." and he let me shadow him. He wrote me a letter of recommendation for medical school. When I was in medical school, I spent my month of pediatrics with him, and he took me to Spina Bifida Clinic and introduced me to the field of pediatric neurosurgery. He never let me pay him back, and he unfortunately passed away before I could force him to let me. A lot of years went by. I got married. My daughter did end up getting adopted by my wonderful husband. My mother knew that I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, but unfortunately passed away from breast cancer before she saw the match. I've had a lot more hurdles and a lot more helpers, and then I was 31 years old, and I was going back into that same NICU over a decade later, but this time wearing a surgical cap, hospital-issued scrubs, as a senior neurosurgery resident, consulted on those tiny babies. And the NICU was the same, and the babies were the same, and there were even some nurses there that recognized me. And it was so gratifying to go back to a place that I had felt so judged and show them that I had succeeded. I'm 34 years old. I'm at my neurosurgery residency graduation, and I'm looking at my husband and my 15-year-old daughter holding her newborn baby brother, and my dad. And my dad is speechless again, but this time, because his really, really, really stubborn, intelligent daughter became the first person in the family to graduate from college, and then went on to medical school and became a neurosurgeon. Thank you.